whichever one it may be. Woo woo. Issue one or more platform drop. That's all right. Which one is it? Facebook? Sorry, we just delete that one. Delete it out the way, brother. We'll go ahead and delete it. Do I need a refresh? It's all good. Anyway, what I want to do is talk about today is the gym, how the gym is my therapy session. And anybody who's jumping in right now, I just want to thank you first and foremost. And even if you are at the gym right now, listen on in while I'm talking about this because I think it may just help you. Who knows? But as I get my drink on real fast, I think the thumbnail and the picture and the thumbnail kind of explains it best. Where the gym is my therapy session now, right? I call it my iron therapist. So before in the past, when I was 335 pounds, out of shape, relying on junk food, relying on all those bad habits, especially when it came to the drinking in the daytime and in the evening, I realized that it done nothing for me but put me backwards and downhill, right? So I put on more weight. I was spending more money. I was more depressed, more anxious, and the problems that I had facing me weren't even being solved. So what I was trying to do back then is literally run away from the problems or just try to mask the problems that I was going through with the alcohol, with the junk food. And a lot of it has to do with the emotions and fear, right? And of course, fear is an emotion because you think about these things and then all of a sudden it brings you into a different mindset moving forward. And so back then, when I was going to the alcohol, when I was going to the junk food, it was like, okay, it's helping me in the moment because of the dopamine hit, but it wasn't really solving the problem. But the fear was going to still be there once I stopped eating the junk food, once I stopped with the alcohol. So, what I want to talk about today is how I've mentally shifted into using the gym as my therapy session now. And when I go in the morning, right, first thing when I wake up, get ready for the gym, first thing I want to do is take care of myself. Okay. And there's a lot of burden that I carry. There's a lot of stress that I carry. There's a lot of responsibility that I carry. And that's just being a man who's a provider, a protector. That's just in our DNA. So we are going to carry the burden at times. We are going to carry the responsibilities. And in my head, that's totally fine. But what happens when the setback comes, when the struggles come, when we get hit in the mouth, when we're least expecting it? What do we do then? How do we react? And how do we end up solving the problem that we just got hit in the face with? So that's what I want to talk about, how I want to put all this together and say, look, even though we're going to get hit with adversity, even though we're going to get hit with setbacks, even though we're going to get punched in the mouth, we're going to get blindsided, how do we react? How do we respond? Okay. And so I want to talk about how I go about it now on a day-to-day basis when I do wake up first thing in the morning, whether it's 2:45 a.m., getting to the gym, working out. The gym is my therapy session. Okay. And of course, I could talk to a therapist about this, and I've done that before in the past. But what I realize is that the actions that I'm able to perform while I'm there, whether it's with my friends that I'm working out with, or sometimes it's by myself, I'm able to sit down and focus and say, okay, I'm going to focus on this workout. And I know for sure, based off of the facts that I provided over and over and over and over and over, going to the gym, working out, pushing myself, feeling my body going through a stressful movement, but walking out of that gym, I know that I'm going to feel much better. Did it solve my problem? No. But at the same time, it's helping me mentally prepare for what's to come. So I'll give you a perfect example. A while back in 2017, I was laid off, right, for the fourth time. It wasn't from performance, it wasn't of behavior. It was because the job that I was working for, they moved their team to another state. Therefore, I lost my job. So I got hit with adversity. I was blindsided, just coming back from vacation, going to the office, and they're like, okay, we have a box for you. You got to take all your stuff because we're pretty much cutting your position. I was stressed. I was anxious. I was depressed. Right away, I'm like, not again. This is the fourth time now. So I'm starting to feel really, really stressed out, sad, right? Woe is me. What's going on here? So what did I do? First and foremost, I had to face my wife once again and say, I got laid off. And it's like a shameful thing. As a man, it's like we're meant to provide, we're meant to protect, we're meant to be there, right? And do these things. That's what we want to be able to do. It's in our DNA. It can't be removed from us. We want to be able to do those things. And so when that gets stripped away from us and our livelihood changes within an instant, and a lot of times it's based off of the person's decision. So our destination relies on their decision. or our destination ends up lying on their decision as well. So it really depends, right? There's times where we can get promoted, we move further ahead, we get more money. Great, right? That decision of, okay, this person was able to put in that much work, they met all the criteria, they pretty much exceeded all of our expectations. We're going to give that person a promotion, a raise, and increase their money, and so that way their livelihood becomes a little bit better. But when you're doing all those things still, your performance is good, you're doing great, you're exceeding all expectations, and all of a sudden that person makes a decision to say, I'm going to cut costs. Therefore, I'm going to move this team out to another place that's less expensive. And I'm going to cut Tony from this position here. Your livelihood changes just like that. You don't know what to do. All of a sudden, you're in panic mode. You start to think of all the worst case scenarios. Fear kicks in. And when that fear kicks in, what happens next? The action. Oh my gosh, I just lost my job. I don't know how I'm going to take care of this mortgage. I just want to make sure that I'm not looked at as a loser. Now all of a sudden, you know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to go home and I'm just going to face the truth. And then after that, I'm just going to start eating junk food and I'm going to start drinking again, right? But I didn't say those things to myself, but I just knew first and foremost I had to face the truth. Okay, my wife knows that I have to go to work from, morning, say if it's, 8:30 to 5:30. But if I'm there Monday through Friday at the house and she's like, "Why aren't you at work?" And I'm like, "Oh, by the way, I lost my job. Surprise." Then that's a little bit different. I'm not going to do that. So I had to face that truth immediately. Hey, love, I got laid off again. I know it sucks. We just got back from vacation and I had to explain all that. That's to me, that's shame. I felt shame, but it was also out of my control. I didn't cause me to get fired based off of performance or behavior or the way I was. It was just because of the fact it was just out of my control. But I know that there's one thing that I can't control now, and that's my reaction and then also my execution. So when I had to face that fear before, face the truth and say, okay, now what's next? Then I have to start preparing for the next job. It's like starting all over. I got to update my resume. I got to make sure that I'm up to my software tools that, that are part of the criteria to meet for the next job. Right. And so all that goes into play. All these things, it's going to take time to get interviewed. Now I got to get dressed up again and go in person and talk to these people and put on a smiley face and give them the best of me for the next 30 minutes. Right. All these different things go through our head that a lot of us don't really talk about. And during that course of time, now my wife is at work, knowing that her husband got laid off. So then there is a burden that goes on to her because she has to carry that responsibility for the time being. But of course, I played it smart. I saved money. I made sure there was money put away, making sure that the mortgage is paid, making sure the bills are taken care of, et cetera. All those things that are still taking place. However, when our livelihood changes in an instant, it really does take a toll on both of us and the whole family. So now the burden is on my wife. She has to take care of that. I have to go file for unemployment. I'm feeling like a complete loser. So then that led to actions that I did not. When I look back, I go, why did I end up doing that? Why was I sitting there at the house watching TV shows, reality TV shows, eating junk food, feeling sorry for myself, saying, woe is me, looking at everybody else and saying, oh, it must be nice for them. At least they're working. And I'm over here sitting here just like a big loser. And now my wife is working. And then I feel like a real loser because I'm not providing anything. And all those things started to go through my head. And so actions took place. Next thing you know, junk food, watching the TV. That also led into drinking alcohol during the day and then drinking alcohol later on in the evening. And so here I am spending more time trying to mask the pain instead of trying to solve the problem. And I had no one else to blame but myself. And so as I kept on doing that on a day-to-day basis, this became my habit for the time being. And then that became part of my lifestyle. And when it became part of my lifestyle, the results came from the execution that I was doing, from the habits that I had. And what happened? I ended up putting all the weight back on. I relapsed. I gained back to over 300 pounds again. I went back over 300 pounds again. I relapsed and I put on weight again. And so I was more depressed because here I am now feeling fat again, ashamed of myself, anxious, not confident, no job, feeling completely insecure again. And then I'm like, why me? Right. And that's what I went through. And so then I went through 9 different interviews after I got laid off. And I heard, nope, We like you. You seem like a great leader. You have all the criteria here. You pretty much meet all of our expectations, but you don't have a college degree. Oh, we really, really like your attitude is great. Your references, they came in, they told us great things about you, but you don't have this automation skill, right? And then no, 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 no. But I look back and I realize all I needed was one yes. I heard 9 no's at that time. Nope, we like you, but nope. Well, we think you're a great fit, but nope. Oh, you did great. You have a college degree? Oh, you don't? I'm sorry. We have to go with the next person. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, more drinking, more eating, putting on more weight. And I'm just feeling like a complete loser. And so finally, I heard that one yes. The one yes that I had that literally made a significant change, but it took a certain amount of time to the point where I thought it was actually a fake. And I'm like, okay, I went through the interview. It was from a referral, it was from a great friend of mine who I worked with in the past. We've created that great relationship in the past and we've kept that great relationship in the past. By the way, that could be a whole nother topic. Make sure you don't burn bridges. Keep great relationships. And so when I got that job, I felt good in the moment when I heard that I was hired. But then I was like, is this going to happen again? What is going to happen if I end up getting laid off again? What if, what if, what if? And I haven't even started my job yet. But already, because of so many months of me going through this day in and day out, the fear, the emotion, the negative talk, because now I'm at home by myself while my wife is at work. So I'm eating the bad food, I'm drinking the alcohol, I'm feeling bad for myself. And then negative thoughts keep coming in, the what ifs, what's going to happen if, all these different things. And so it just led to absolutely nothing. And of course, I was able to speak to a couple of friends during that course of time. And I spoke with my brother, I spoke to my wife about these things. But I just knew that it all boiled down to me. What am I going to do? I'm responsible for myself. I'm a grown man. What am I going to do for myself and for my family? And so I had to step it up. I had to make a complete lifestyle change. There was nobody that came knocking on my door and was like, hey, Tony, we're just going to make this significant change for you. Here you go. You good? No, I had to make that significant change and say, look, okay, I got this job. Cool. But I've put on all this weight. I don't feel good. I don't like the way I look. My confidence is shot down again. I got too comfortable. But once I got that job, I told myself, okay, you got to get back on the grind, brother. You got to keep pushing. Get back on it. The way you lost that 80 pounds the first time and you kept it off for 12 years, go back to that and just start doing it. And the hardest part at that time was for me to get started. But once I got started, then I started moving. I started getting the momentum again. I'm working, I'm getting a paycheck, I'm feeling good, and things started to build back up. So that pain that I went through was a temporary setback. But I had to make that significant change at that time in order for me to keep on going. But the hardest part, like I said, was just getting started. So what did I do? I started going back to the gym, slowly but surely started to take care of the foods, taking care of my body, making sure that I'm nourishing my body. I started implementing intermittent fasting now that I've learned from Dr. Jason Fung, Dr. Eric Berg, and from my wife teaching me all these things about fasting and then applying what I learned based on what they were teaching me. And so now that I'm doing that, okay, great. I'm no longer 310 pounds. Now I'm down to 300, now 295. Oh, I want to get to 275 again. I want to see what that feels like. I remember what that looked like before. I want to get to that again. And I had to slowly start making those steps and keep on going and not stop. I have to focus on being consistent. I have to focus on the goal. I have to make sure that, yes, okay, now I'm making the money, but I got to take care of my health too, because if I don't, then I'm just going to go right back to where I was when I was 335 pounds, feeling my absolute lowest. And I don't want to go back to that again. And then during the course of time when I was working, I found out that we're going to have a daughter. And I'm like, oh, snap, I can't be this fat dad anymore. And so now I'm really going, putting all this stuff into play. And I'm just like, look, I'm gonna apply the intermittent fasting on a daily basis. I'm gonna make sure that my nutrition is on point, my workout is on point, making sure that I'm doing good at work, keeping my head on the swivel, making sure that I'm not, just being all comfortable, but I also want to make sure that I'm focused on my work, learning all these tasks, keeping up with the software tools, and making sure that I'm doing great. And then people at the office started to notice a change in my body. So they started to ask, how are you losing all this weight? Tony, when you first started, you was pretty big, and all of a sudden you're starting to lose weight. So I started to talk to him about it, and I started to talk to him about the gym and let him know, hey, if you guys want to join in with me, come on through and let's go work out together. I was always the one that tried to encourage those people to say, look, it can be done. Just follow my lead. And so now I'm building a community over here at 24 Hour Fitness UTC when I used to work out over there. But now it's like, okay, cool. We got the gym going, we got the health going, the nutrition going. Now people want to come through and start working out. Let's do this together as a community. So now you fast forward to 2026, and the same thing is happening. The gym is my therapy session now. When I go to that gym, all the setbacks, all the frustration, all the stuff that affected me in the past is getting put into the weights instead of getting put into those drinks that I have to literally take money out of my pocket, go buy it, putting something in my body that doesn't do me any good, and then expect for a great outcome. It just doesn't make any sense. When on the flip side, I could go ahead and I can literally invest the time in myself, invest the time in my body, go into the gym. Yes, when I pay for my membership, I look at that as investing in myself. I'm not just spending money on a gym membership because I know if I'm going to invest in this membership, I'm going to use it. And so there's a lot of men out there who have multiple gym memberships and they're not going. Now you're talking about wasting money. You want to be able to invest in yourself. So now when I have my community of men at the gym with me and we're working out together, you think we're just sitting there talking about happy-go-lucky stories? No. We got all kind of men from different backgrounds talking about, man, I've been going through a lot lately, whether it's relationship, business, job, credit, whatever it is. We get there and we talking about it. But you know what we also doing? We hitting them reps at the same time. We're feeling good when we leave that door. And then when we feel better, when we leave that door because we know we've put in the work and we took care of ourselves first, we're now able to say, you know what? Thanks for that conversation, homie. Let's go ahead and start putting together some different ideas and facts that we can do to help better ourselves, whatever it is, the credit, family relationships. Maybe it's money, maybe it's repo, whoever, whatever it is. But I know that when we came together and we're hitting those reps and we're pushing each other and we're building each other up and we're motivating each other, we're inspiring each other, we're surrounding ourselves, and we're all like-minded when it comes to specific goals, then it's like bet. We learn from one another. We push one another, and our circle is better from that. And then we leave that door and we're like, cool, let's go handle that problem because we feel better. Before I was isolated with nothing but junk food and alcohol and TV shows. None of those things care about me. All of them are making more money off of me, but I'm not getting a benefit. And I'm just sitting there blaming other people and shaming other people and then complaining about things in life. When now it's a complete 180 and I'm surrounding myself with real life people, not a reality show. I'm making sure that I'm letting my body rest, recover, restore, and rejuvenate by intermittent fasting. And then I'm pushing my body, burning body fat by doing faster workouts, keeping my body in ketosis. And then I feel better once I leave the gym. Mentally, I'm more prepared for the day because I took care of the hardest part of the day, taking care of me first. What? That wasn't no magic wand that just tapped my head and was like, your life is going to change, Tony. Here we go. No, I had to make that change. And when I started to make that change and kept the momentum going, other people saw it and they're like, yo, like I've been going through some stuff too. Now they're opening up. And so when I'm at that gym, whether it's 20-pound dumbbells or 200-pound dumbbells, I know that that therapy session is going to be right there for me every single day. And I'm going to hit some of those weights and I'm going to walk out feeling much better. And then on top of that, when I'm starting to feel better and I realize how much work that I've been putting in and how much work that my other friends have been putting in, now all of a sudden we're holding each other accountable. We're making sure that our nutrition is on point. We're making sure that anything else that's going on in our world, we're making sure we're talking to one another. We're holding each other accountable. Hey, remember that problem you was talking about in the gym last week? How's that going for you now? Anything that I could do to help you? Yeah, man, everything is going much better. We're not all the way there yet, but you know what? I'm feeling so much better. Thank you. Now all of a sudden you start to build another up this way instead of tearing each other down, instead of worrying about what's going on in our outside environment that we can't control. I got laid off over something that I couldn't control, but I know that I can control the way I react, I respond, and what I can execute on. I know that. And I know for sure if I continue to do that, the results will come. And so that's why I say the gym is my therapy session. The gym is my therapist. I don't want to rely on drinks. I don't want to rely on junk food anymore. I've been down that route before and it produced nothing but bad for me. It gave me nothing but hate. And now I get to reward my body with love. And then on top of that, I get to execute and give that to other people now and help them get from where they are to where they want to be. There's so many men out there right now who have been struggling, hiding behind the alcohol, drinking a bottle every night, eating the junk food, going out for a quick smoke, lying to their significant other, hey, I'll be back. I'm gonna just go hang out with the boys. And all of a sudden they come back all intoxicated, hungover, slumped, and gaining more weight. And then they see an Instagram post from somebody like me or somebody else. They go, oh, it must be nice for him. Must be easy for him in his life. No, player, I've gone through a lot and I'm gonna still go through a lot. So the excuses need to take a back seat and the progress has to start going forward and getting ahead of you. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, when you go to that gym and you are literally putting in the work, there's endorphins that kick in, and literally you feel so much better. Naturally, you feel so much better. And when you leave that door, you're like, man, I'm so glad I did it. Nobody ever goes back and say, man, I wish I would have done that workout. That was kind of dumb. Nobody says that. We all walk out feeling better. Then we watch motivational videos. We watch people working out. We're like, yeah, let me get some of those workouts right here. Let me write that down real quick. Now we're learning. Now we're growing. That's called personal development. And then you take those same habits and those same actions and then you put it into your business or your job. And now it's talking about professional development. That's exactly the journey that I took. Before, I was doing nothing but blaming, shaming, and complaining. Now it's all about winning, building one another up, and helping people get from where they are to where they want to be. Especially you fellas out there who have a family, who have a significant other, who has a home, who has bills to pay, who has a job, a career, whether you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't matter. But if you're going through all those things and you're just relying on the vices or you're trying to mask the pain and try to just cover up the symptoms and run away, it's not going to work, player. It's just not going to work. So the decision is completely up to you. I can't come to you and be like, bling, magic wand, here you go. Your life has completely changed. But what I could do is help you. I can give you the accountability. I can give you the system. I can give you the structure, just like I've helped thousands of men already get from where they are to where they want to be. Entrepreneurs, executive board members, CEOs, 9 to 5, 5 to 9ers. Doesn't matter. You're still a man. You're still a human. You still have a family to feed. You still have a mortgage to pay. You still got bills to pay. You still got to provide a roof over your head for yourself and for your family. Doesn't mean you have to put your health in the back seat because that's priority number one along with time. Because you only get one body and time never goes backwards. So the choice is completely up to you. And that's why when I'm at the gym, I have my community right there in person. When I have my clients and they want their workouts customized for them, or if they're working out at home or at the gym, and then I have my group coaching call sessions, that's the community that I'm building. And people are part of that. And then their whole week ahead is like, okay, cool. I'm set. I got structure, accountability, a system. I'm ready to go. But I still have to be the one to apply it. Otherwise, it is what it is. I'm just going to waste more money. I need to invest in me. That's the best investments you can make in. So I'm just telling you right now, this is why the gym is my therapy session. I can go in there tripping, stressed. Woke up late today. I don't feel like going today. But I know if I go in there, I'm going to feel much better when I'm done because that's a fact. And I've proven it over and over and over and over with facts. And you guys can do the exact same thing. Motivation is going to come and go, but purpose will last forever. But when you have that drive and you have something that you can look forward to now, and as we get older, remember, time doesn't reverse. So we're not going to get younger. But as we get older, we have to realize, you know what? My health is important. My family is important. Time is important. So what am I going to do? Sit here and just continue to drink the alcohol, eat the junk food, rely on these vices? Or am I going to take better care of me? Choice is completely up to you, fam. So I want to know, what are you struggling with? Okay, comment below and let me know what you're struggling with. All right. And I'll make sure to provide more videos. And if you are wanting to join a community, comment below community and I'll make sure to send you the links so you can jump in and hop in with us. and I can help you get you from where you are to where you want to be. You want that training, you want the accountability, you want the meal plan, the nutrition, the structure, the one-on-one, the insight, the tools, all of the stuff that I've been through before to help you get you from where you are to where you want to be and expedite that. Let me know. All right. So I'll talk to you guys on the next one. My voice is going out right now, fam, because this is a hard hitter for me. I take this very personal. So I'll see you on the next one, fam. Let's get it. Yeah, that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.